Welcome back. Class is officially in session, so open your rugby books and take notes, people. We're giving you a little Rugby 101 class brought to you by TOTALENERGIES, the very proud sponsors of the 2023 Rugby World Cup. And here to give us some insights into our beautiful game is first team coach at Bergfleet High, Clive Stevenson, as well as Lorenzo Durries, our inside man. Clive, thank you so much for being here, bud. I somehow think being a high school coach is probably the most high-pressure job in all of the sporting world. I say this because I'm a parent of a child playing rugby. He's nowhere near high school. So first of all, what kind of season have you had, you and Bergfleet's team? How have you guys fared this year?
Well, basically, one of my good friends of mine, Andrew Howard and Ryan Locke, we decided, as a side hustle between our daily jobs to bring back to the school that we used to go to and improve the rugby. And we've been there for the past 2 years, and we took the rugby from where they couldn't win a game to basically 60% now win record and beating 2 of the top teams in our league.
Well done.
And the passion that we're bringing back into the school, the old gears, so it's something very special to us.
Bro.
And yeah, it's a very passionate hobby for us.
I love it. You got to get the basics down, Lorenzo. You got to get the basics down. So we owe our high school coaches, I think, a debt of gratitude in that space. Okay, so let's start with the basics now. Explain it to us like we've never heard about rugby. We know nothing about it. Okay, how many players in a team, duration of the game, and the rules of tackling? Maybe that's a good place to start.
So basically, currently there's a squad of 23.
Okay.
And there's various means that we can split that. On the reserve bench, the 5-3, which is the traditional. And that is...
Or the 7-1, just say
7-1, come on.
I'm getting there. And there's what Rusty invented, which is the innovator of the modern game, was the 6-2. And that was known as the bomb squad.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is basically to, as we know, we got the powerhouses up front. We kill the opposition in the first half, and then we bring on those remaining enforcers.
To mop up the rest. Yeah.
Exactly. And let's not go to the 7-1 split now that happened this weekend.
We don't need
one of those things.
Duration of the game?
The duration of the game is 80 minutes. There's a 40-minute halves. Obviously, there is time sometimes when the referee will stop the clock, and that's for injuries, or it could be a TMO decision, where is there sort of dangerous play, and that sort of thing. And then with regards to the tackle height, it needs to be anything below the neck area. So this is where you should be tackling. Although there is new rules coming into place now where they are wanting to implement it below the waist.
Well, we've heard, Lorenzo, below the ball as well. I've heard as a reference point as well. And this does beg, we'll delve into the new yellow card / red card system and how that works. But what is the general consensus now? Because that's got to be the biggest worry on most teams' minds now, is losing a player getting a red card.
So if you look at what's happening in England at the moment, they've implemented rules for below the waist, kind of just to take the tackler down, or the tackler to take the player down easily.
Yeah.
So that there's not that much impact and not that much head-to-head as well. The problem that we have with that is that the speed of play. Yeah. That is the problem. The
size of players.
Because the thing is, you've got these young men that are 98 kgs running at 30, 40 k's maybe, like just that burst in that 10 seconds and getting you down. That's a lot of pressure that you're getting on you.
That's a lot of acceleration.
So you need to get that. You need to get that tackle region right.
Completely. And then the front row forwards are looking at these guys crying about tackles, going, what are you talking about? I do that every day for breakfast in the front row. The set pieces become so important. And I think the big step up with these so-called minnow sides or lower tier sides has been how they've been getting the lineouts, getting the scrums right. What is considered a set piece? Talk us through that.
So set pieces is your scrums and your lineouts. And that is actually vital.
The foundation, the backbone, yeah?
And this is one of the reasons why New Zealand currently is struggling. They do not have the forward pack to combat Ireland or France or South Africa at the moment. Because obviously their backs are not getting that ball. Without your forwards, you're not getting that ball. So it's very vital that your lineouts and your set piece, those are your foundations. So basically you're building your house from the bottom up.
I love that.
You need that scrums, and it's vital importance.
Yeah, and it's a good way of getting parity. Winning a scrum, it's amazing how much it can turn a game. But never mind a penalty scrum or something like that that South Africa loves to do with our bomb squad. So we've seen the teams arrive there. We've seen this parity between the top and the bottom. How do people actually get into the Rugby World Cup? How do these teams make it there, like a Romania? And how do they go about deciding the pools and sorting all that out?
Yeah, it's a bit of a touchy subject with this at the moment, because I think we're the only sport in the world that decides how a World Cup is going to be 3 years before before the World Cup. So what happens is that you've got usually about five teams in a pool. Your top 2 teams usually qualify for the quarters, but they then automatically qualify for the next World Cup, and then your third place team as well.
Okay.
Then we go into regionals. So you've got Oceania, you've got South America, you've got North America, you've got Europe as well. And
The rugby ecosystem.
there you go. And it's kind of built the same all over with football, with cricket.
For sure.
And you've got this repertoire and, you know, those set tournaments in order to qualify for it. And that's the nice thing about it, is the fact that we're seeing teams like Romania, we're seeing teams like Uruguay that are playing week in and week out, that they're building around that and knowing that we want to get there.
Yeah.
So they're pushing for it. And it's nice to see the likes of Chile as well. You know, we sit back and think that it's just South Africa, Ireland, or the home nations, and Australia and New Zealand. But now we're seeing the likes of Chile, Romania, Georgia coming up as well. They're not a tier 2 nation. They're a performance nation. And they that one step closer to becoming a high-performance nation.
Completely. And they just need more match time against the top-tier teams. As you've proven with your own team, you've just got to go and knock it around with the big boys. We're not going to delve deeper into the yellow card thing because I don't want to jinx us going into the next phase of our own rugby journey. Just very quickly, after this last performance from the Springboks, how are you feeling about us winning this World Cup?
Look, we've not. This is not the first time we've lost in a pool stage and won the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
It's just very unfortunate with the kicking situation. I mean, if you think about it, there was 11 points that was missed that night. That is us winning against Ireland.
Say what you want about reffing. That's the bottom line, yeah.
Unfortunately, yes, there was some dodgy referee decisions. However, 11 points missed.
Yeah,
it's on us.
would have been redundant.
And I know for a fact Rassie and Jacques, they would get that team going now. And I think now, unfortunately, I think Pollard is going to have to come in for those goal kicks. Because when we're going into the quarters, the semis, as we saw now, that was a final that we watched.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you missed your kicks, you are going to lose.
Yeah.
So it's vital that we get that sorted. And I feel for Mani because I feel like he has been tremendous.
Yeah.
His distribution, his kick, we've known for those try assists from the wing. He's been excellent. So I'm a bit disappointed. I mean, his kicking at the Stormers was good.
Chance, man, yeah.
So, but I think we can bounce back, and I predict the Ireland and South Africa final coming up.
Because we won't have to meet New Zealand on the way there. I think this might have been one little silver lining there. Thank you, boys. Absolutely love it. I can understand why you're as good as you are at what you do. I have a feeling I'm going to be chatting to you a few more times as your career escalates. Game day, of course, needs the education. You've got to go in armed with that. But you also need your belly full and you need the bright smoking outside. So you head over to your Total Energy service station to top up on your fuel. Yes, but you can get your bright charcoal, your firelighters, your snacks, your drinks, just about anything you need, or a coffee if you're just starting your day. And you can earn those club points as well that can be redeemed back as cashback vouchers, and that helps you save even more on those future purchases. In fact, the only thing that could make this discussion even better would be the smell of an actual prize. So let's see if we can rustle that up.
Just like in rugby, it's uniting our energies that helps us move forward.